What's happening?
You don't have a tenancy agreement with the Chimas.
With the who?
With the Chimas.
The Chimas?
Yeah, you don't have a tenancy agreement with them.
Yeah, we've already got permission from those guys to stay here for till December 6th minimum.
No, you haven't.
Yes, we have. They've told me.
I'm going to call them today because you don't have a tenancy agreement with the Chimas.
Okay. Doesn't matter. They understand that this is signed against this house. That's the whole point of it.
I think you don't understand. Why do you want to stay somewhere where they don't want you here and the police are getting involved?
Because I want to stay here. It's hard. It's not that cheap to move anywhere.
You haven't paid the rent for July, August, or September.
I've given you all the papers to pay for it.
It's not acceptable. So
Victoria has it with the instructions. She already has understood that she's got it. Hello, Pat.
I'm not talking to you, Derek. You haven't paid the rent. I've talked to Victoria, and this is how we're going to go. So you're good.
Then why did Victoria sign those forms?
Listen, Derek, the bottom line is the owners want you off the property.
The bottom line is your eviction notices are faulty, and they are fraudulent.
How are they faulty?
We have given you ample opportunity to fill out these forms to get the money back, and you have made no effort.
Derek, your job is to pay the rent. You can go to the Tennessee branch and do whatever you want, because where I was in the house...
Do you want the rent? Do you want the rent? Do you want me to give you the rent in cash?
You're still going out of that house because...
Then if we're going out of the house, then why should I pay you the rent?
Well, I don't care what you do.
Then why are you phoning me and giving me an eviction notice? You realize that the residential tenancy branch will not look nicely at you for not filling out these forms that give you a chance to get your money.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, Derek. I've talked to the Tennessee branch 3 times, and they're the ones today and yesterday that told me to do this, to get rid of you. So I've already talked to them, and I'm doing what they told me to do.
So you're telling me there's going to be a record of you talking to them and about me?
Yes, I have a record. It's on my phone.
They told you to get rid of me?
No, they told me to give you an eviction, a 10-day notice, and if I don't have the rent by the 31st, I don't have to accept money after that, and then I just do the order of possession to get the house back. So they told me to do
We
that.
already, yeah, that can't be true because they've told me that we have a file in place.
You know what? Number one, you got illegal papers, Victoria told me, because you never gave them to us on time.
Yeah, I did.
You gave them to the wrong people. The Chimas are not your property managers. Home like this. So I've already called to Tennessee. I've already talked to them.
If I've done all these things so wrong, why are you trying so hard and yelling so much?
I just fucking can't argue with this guy.
Who are you talking to?
Come on, side.
Oh, that's too bad. You have everything sealed up, then what's the problem? Tongue up.
Leave me alone! Enforcing an eviction. You always have the right to challenge an eviction notice that has been given to you by your landlord. However, if you fail to apply for dispute resolution by the required deadline, or do apply in time but lose your hearing, your landlord can obtain an order of possession from the residential tenancy branch. Enforcing an order of possession. There are strict rules when it comes to physically removing a tenant and their possessions from a rental unit. Here are the steps that your landlord must follow. Serve you with a copy of a residential tenancy branch order of possession. Wait for the 2-day review period to expire. If you successfully file a RTB application for review consideration during the 2-day review period, the RTB will put your order of possession on hold. Your landlord must then wait to see if the review is decided in their favor before moving on to the next step. To ensure your landlord knows you have filed an application for review consideration, use TRAC's template letter, review consideration of order of possession. Take the order of possession to the BC Supreme Court and obtain a writ of possession. Use the writ of possession to hire a court-approved bailiff. Overholding. If you stay past the move-out date listed on an eviction notice or order of possession, you may end up owing your landlord some money. In addition, if your landlord hires a court-approved bailiff to remove you and your belongings from your rental unit, you may be held responsible for at least some of the associated costs. Role of the police. The police do not have the authority to evict tenants on their own. However, a court-approved bailiff may ask them to attend an eviction to keep the peace while a tenant is being removed. List of court-approved bailiffs. The Attorney General publishes a list of court-approved bailiffs. Only the companies on this list can legally enforce a writ of possession on behalf of a landlord. Warning: there are people in BC who are paid money to pressure tenants to move out even though they are not authorized to enforce a writ of possession. If someone comes to your door claiming to be a bailiff, always ask for identification.
Hey kid, open your door. I'm a bailiff.
Yeah, we're bailiffs.
Alright, so if it was yesterday, I'm looking way back.
Yeah, no, yesterday was the newest forms, and they were filled out wrong. They were missing witness information from Home Life Realty, and they were missing the bank information.
1 hour before this, Pat Robinson served a 10-day eviction notice.
So that actually seems like that is the direct deposit form.
Okay.
What I'm seeing is that there is just one form that was done, and that was for July.
No, that's the one that was brought back yesterday?
I don't know. We would have generated a form with some information regarding that specific check. And that form that I'm seeing only pertains to that lost and stolen July check.
So is that one going to be sent to them?
For August.
Is that one going to be sent to them?
There was notes that this was handed to you.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. And I brought it to Home Life, and then that's what I brought back yesterday. That was about the third one, but that one was that one may have been signed wrong too. I don't know. I guess the signing wrong. I don't understand how you don't have access to those files from yesterday though, because we need to know that.
It does take time to get profiles onto your files. Like this has been going on since July.
Okay, so, yeah, no, it's been going on since June.
Not an immediate turnaround.
So what's the quickest we can get this money? Let's say we get both the other things and I bring them in on Monday, or even right now, emergency, get both the forms right now for August and September, get them filled out. What's the quickest we can get all three of those rent monies if I get all the forms filled out as quick as I can?
Home Life Realty. If you all don't get us your rent money, you will pay in other ways. Don't think you won't pay.
Well, if you get it signed, everything is signed on Monday. You bring it into the office. It does need time to get profiled. And then I would say it would be about a 3-day business turnaround.
So it would be there by 3 business days?
It will be set. It can be done. It could possibly be done in 3 business days.
Is there a way,
That just means, just a minute. That just means that everything has to align up correctly, and that there are no bumps. There's nothing there. It is the right timing, because when I say right timing, it depends on the time that it gets profiled onto your file, depending on the number of staff that are on those service requests, and depending on the time that it gets processed, because there is a check cutoff time that cannot be.
Court bailiff rules. Court bailiffs carrying out an eviction can seize and sell your personal property to pay their fees. However, you have the right to claim exemptions to protect the following items: necessary clothing, household furniture and appliances worth up to $4,000, one motor vehicle worth up to $5,000.
Is that the bailiff? If you don't unclamp my car in 1 hour, I will find you and I will kill you.
Bailiffs will often give you an opportunity to claim these exemptions when they first show up at your rental unit. If your belongings are taken before you have a chance to claim your exemptions, contact the bailiff company right away. You must claim your exemptions within 2 days of the date you found out that your property was seized.
Is there a way, we can get some kind of proof of purchase type of thing that we can give to them that will stop or null and void their eviction for the 10-day, that we have the money coming? So even if it takes 10 days or 11 days, it can stop their eviction. That's what I want to know, if I can be safe and guarantee some kind of security.
This situation that you're describing is between landlord-tenant issues. There was a rent direct set.
Yeah, but okay. Well, here's another thing. I've been told by somebody, they suggested that if this money doesn't get sent there, and I get an eviction for failure to pay rent, I actually don't get evicted, even if the rent still takes longer, simply because it's not my fault that it didn't come. And I've done everything in my power to get that rent there, and it's being sent from a different person, and they're the ones not sending it.
If you submit shelter documents, request to set up direct payment to the landlord, and it is done, and whatever happens between you and the landlord, then that happens. We have not received any information from the landlord that these checks are lost or stolen. There's no information. We have, some information from you.
Yeah, I know. They're not going to help you. They're not going.
Back in July.
They're not going to give you any information.
We're waiting for information
From who? Them?
from you and your landlord.
I've given you every bit of information I can. There's nothing more I can do.
Okay, so then, allow for profiling time, and then we'll be able to.
Okay, so one of those is in apparently. That July one. I'm gonna have to go check out if that's filed right. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to get 2 more files at the same time today from the office, and then bring them over to Home Life to see if we can get those signed as quickly as can, and then bring them back.
Okay, so I will put in a request for the August and September.
How about another thing, just as a last-ditch emergency thing? If I'm right on the edge and I can't, and I have no way of getting, because I have a feeling that this money's not gonna make it there. 60 days of this stuff is kind of. I feel like I've beaten the dead horse to a pulp, and nothing's changing here. So, if I have to go into my savings account, because if I go into my regular money, I don't have enough to cover this. Like I'd be broke for an entire month, pretty much. So, if I go into my savings account to get the 3 months rent, is there a way that once I've done that, I could bring you some kind of proof of purchase receipt thing to show you that the money was honestly brought to that place, then get that money that's going to the rent that's late and bring that back to me to even out those funds? Do you understand what I'm saying?
See, the rent will have been sent. What the process is we're doing a lost stolen process for checks directed to the landlord.
So it has to go to them, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, well, how about this then? If I go ahead of time to save myself, to pay, and then you still have to pay, I'll essentially be 3 months ahead. So would I be able to get a future 3 months addition to my rent for that 3 months extra, and then put that back on my rent once again to even out that money that I spent?
No, you see, that's the stuff that you need to discuss with your landlord.
But the landlord's not going to discuss anything. They're trying to evict me. I'm fighting this off legally, except now they're using a second eviction notice. As far as I'm concerned, from the beginning, they probably had the checks, because they said everything was getting forwarded, right? But then they said that the checks weren't getting forwarded. Anyway, I've said this story 100 times. I'm going to go down to the office and see what I can do. I got to go. Thank you for your help. Okay, we got to go, right now.
Please, whatever I did, I'm sorry. Just go. I'm sorry.